Welcome. I'm going to give you a second. Hi, thank you. So my name is Rebecca Miller. I'm editorial director of School Library Journal and Library Journal, and I'm really psyched to be here with you for the SLJ Leadership Summit. Thank you for coming to DC. It's a very particularly interesting time to be in Washington, D.C. First of all, we get to celebrate a new Librarian of Congress taking the reins. And we'll just say that the reins are up in the air on that other big thing. So we'll hold our breaths and not go there right now. And importantly, the main reason we came to DC is because we wanted this summit this year to be in the seat of that federal thinking that went into the ESSA. That 10-year win basically took 10 years for school libraries and librarians to get integrated into that language. And we wanted to use this moment here to activate this group more, even though I know some of you were working on this already, to make sure that that work to get that language into law didn't just sit there, but became a reality, a meaningful reality in our schools for years to come. And I think there's a lot of work ahead on that. And we have a lot of pieces in the program designed to touch on that at different levels. So hopefully you'll come away from this two-day extravaganza with a lot more information about where this community is at and thinking about how to make it so that school librarians and libraries are in the center of moving our schools forward even more in terms of that. So we have a lot of program pieces around that. You'll hear about it during the day. We have a big picture, we have very granular pieces, and some real policy connections tomorrow morning. And the program describes all of that here. We have a lot to cover in housekeeping, but before I move forward, I want to kind of take a little read on the room. How many of the participants here, and really you're all participants, but how many of you are here not for the first time? You've been here before some time ago in some capacity. Very good. Hi. Welcome back. And how many of you, it seems obvious you could subtract, but no, we're going to make you show who is here for the first time. Great. Welcome. Welcome. Well, I'd like you to be ready to roll up your sleeves because we have a lot to do in the next little period of time. But before I move on to small housekeeping things, I would like to introduce Matt Keller. Sorry to make you run, Matt. Who's the Chief Marketing Officer at Capstone to help welcome you. Matt.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? You got enough coffee in you? Yeah, good, good. Can we get rid of these teleprompters? I don't need them. I don't like to practice my speech either. I think it's better if I'm just more authentic. So that's my political jokes for the morning. If you're laughing, you know what I'm doing. But let's give a big round of applause for School Library Journal for hosting this. Rocco and I were talking last night. Between the two of us, we think this is the 15th year, but we're not sure. I know Rocco doesn't really know, even though he's been involved from the beginning. But really, School Library Journal's vision and leadership directing this every year is a real benefit for the industry, and it's really something that we do this. And it's really, it's not a meeting, it's like a retreat. It's not a retreat for the SLJ people, but it's a retreat for the rest of us, and it's a way for us to connect, and so that's a real special thing. And Capstone would like to welcome Steve Zales and David Greenow to the team, and really thank Rebecca and Rocco and Ina and everybody who's doing what they can to make this a great event. We have been a proud sponsor for 14 years, Capstone has, and this is Capstone's 25th anniversary. We started in 1991, so this is a big year, and we're really excited. Thank you. A couple of years ago, Capstone did an internal study about the brand of Capstone, like what's the brand, and doing that study and work, you realize that a brand of a company or a brand of an organization is an inside-out job, which means you're only as good as all the people together. So if you are a good customer service company, it's not possible that you can't treat each other with respect and decency. It can't be disconnected. And doing the work with Capstone, we distilled Capstone's brand down to one word, which was ingenuity, which means kind of like street smart, innovation, kind of scrappy. And I was reflecting on that, and I realized I think that applies to school librarians and media specialists, that you guys are scrappy and you're smart, and you have many things to choose from every day, and I don't want this to leave the room, but if you're a math teacher, you go and teach math every day. If you're a school librarian or a media specialist, you have one of 20 things to do every day, and you have to figure out, what am I going to do first? And you really are the MacGyver of education. So this SLJ Summit is a great event. It's a time to renew and reconnect and re-energize. This is really something that's I'm proud to be a part of, and Capstone is proud to be a part of, and we just hope you enjoy the next day and a half, because you deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks so much, Matt. MacGyver, I like it. So I have a fair bit of housekeeping, briefly, I hope. So here's how you get onto Wi-Fi. You can. We've been flipping that slide and we'll continue to. There are 3 power stations around the room for you to plug in throughout the day. And we also have 2 back channels that we want you to activate as you like, and that is to tweet at SLJ Summit. It's a hashtag. And this digital back channel, I want to say, and there's information about it on your table as well. Developed with Capstone and Andy Plemons. I think that is going to be a great way. It's sort of a digital workbook for the summit. And so we hope that that'll help you engage in the summit and figure out how to take action steps when you get home. I also want to point out that there is a maker playground down the hall in conference. Tell me where it is. Congressional P. C. That way. Throughout the day today, and so as you sort of decide you need to get up and stretch your legs, you can go check that out. There's a program posted on a poster there for the events going on there during the day, and that's a nice little add-on element to the summit this year. And thanks to Kathy Ishizuka for bringing that idea to us. So the day has a few changes. You have an addendum in your program. Unfortunately, we're going to have to foreshorten the hackathon briefly because John Lewis needs to depart early, and we want to enable him to be wherever he needs to be. So he's going to get out the door. But the hackathon is a very important part of today, and some of you were in the room earlier when Joyce and Michelle oriented the group a little bit, and there's going to be more orientation as the day continues. But I just want to touch base about the hackathon briefly here and let you know that the hackathon is brought into the program of the summit this year because it was so engaging and interesting last year as a non-official element that we decided that that was going to be the way that we helped you get hands-on about the problems in your schools and what you're trying to achieve, and also have you have a time when you're working together. We know how you like to work together, and we want to be there working with you, and allow this community as a whole to work together on problems and share their learning out to the group afterwards. So the hackathon is a relatively large and intensive project this year, and I want to say that it required us to recruit about 30 plus volunteers from this community to participate as recorders and facilitators and translators. More about the translators in a second. And that, I just want to thank you for contributing your expertise on the ground and not being here just to listen, but to get in the trenches. So thank you, everyone who's participating in some kind of official capacity, and thank you all for what I know is going to be great work ahead. So a note on the translators. What do I mean by a translator? So about 8 months ago, I had, I don't know, was it 9 months ago, something like that. I had coffee with Ashley Anderson-Zantrop from Capstone, and we had a great conversation about the summit and what we were hoping to get done here. And we already knew we wanted to bring the hackathon into the program, but we were kind of unsure about how to make that connect to our theme. And so out of that conversation came the idea to have someone at each of those breakouts be what we call an ESSA or ESSA, you pick, translator. So someone who's listening to what's going on at the table, thinking about the policy, thinking about how that work can get communicated at the building and district level so that it's understood to be related to ESSA. So we're hoping that's going to work. Everybody's going to be working it for the first time this time, so we'll see what that brings forward, and we'll be reporting out those findings. So the hackathon really epitomizes collaboration and the collaborative spirit of this group and this community, and really the goals of the summit to a large extent. So I'm really excited to have that happening here and today and part of the program. Everyone here is a collaborator, all of you, as well as the smart stakeholders who are here and sponsoring this, this event, and we really couldn't be a profession and couldn't be a community without that engagement with the people who help us design the products that we work with and listen to our feedback in a collaborative way. And this summit has always been designed around that conversation as well. And so I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsors, who are here to engage with you throughout this summit and will be part of the hackathon as well. So I just want to thank Capstone, Follett, Abdo, Diamond, Gale, Junior Library Guild, Lerner, Little Bits, Mackin, Rosen, and TLC. Thank you guys for being here. It really is incredibly meaningful. Also, this summit couldn't happen without a long-term engagement over the year of planning in-house at SLJ. And so I want to take a moment to identify the SLJ crew who's here. So everyone related to SLJ, please show yourselves. And we have people around the room. We have the editorial team, we have Salesforce, we have corporate, and then we have Rocco. And Rocco Stano, of course. So I just want to say this group is here to help you engage in the summit, and we're here to hear what you're doing in your schools and in your libraries throughout this time. And we hope that you will come up and tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, there's this thing you really need to know about because it's cool and this community needs to know about it through SLJ. And don't be shy. So now, without further ado, and I'm sure I missed something, but we'll get back to it, I would like to bring up Kathy Ishizuka, who is the executive editor of School Library Journal, and she is going to introduce our keynote. Thank you. Kathy.